There also can be forgiveness without reconciliation. In other words, I might say to you, I forgive you, you've done whatever you can to right the wrong, but I just don't want to see you again.
That might apply with an ex-spouse.
That's right.
Or something like
exactly
that.
Exactly right. That's exactly the example I had in mind. An ex-spouse that, let's say, there were hurtful things that were done, maybe by both parties.
Maybe adultery or
maybe adultery, maybe other things.
Violence.
That's right. So the person might say, look, you've done whatever you can do in order to right the wrong. Fine. I forgive you, but I really don't want to see you again. There's a very interesting piece of the Talmud is that a man cannot be a member of a court on a capital case, a case where capital punishment is a possibility, unless he is married and has children of his own. Because unless you have children of your own, you can't really appreciate the worth of a human being, whether that be the culprit or whether that be the victim. Because I think what the rabbis recognized was that these are really maturing experiences as well as spiritual experiences.
Well, that's also part of the rules that used to surround the study of Kabbalah.
Right.
As well. You had to be learned at 45 and have children.
Right.
One of our viewers was so traumatized by their faith practice that they grew up in. Or maybe they grew up with none at all. And they have kind of a shell of resentment, maybe in their atheism, maybe in whatever. And they've heard about spirituality. They've heard about a higher power. These are attractive ideas to them. But they're still afraid because their dad beat it out of them or whatever. Is there a beginner's spiritual practice that you can offer, a non-threatening one, that might begin to help them crack the shell? I'm going to describe two hypothetical viewers for you. One of them is educated. They could be one of your neighbors. They're doing well financially. The chance of financial privation isn't even on their horizon. They could be a family person or maybe single, but they're very busy socially. They're busier than a one-armed paper hanger. The other person is someone maybe not so educated. Maybe they're struggling financially. Maybe they're serially unemployed. It's all they can do to get dinner on the table each day. Neither of these two people has ever done anything for anyone outside of their own narrowly defined self-interest, which may include their spouse and children. Why would they want to speak to them either together or separately? Why would they want to serve someone or something other than themselves?
One that I mentioned before, to do the right and the good, in which I talk about the fact that the tradition, I also read a book called The Way into Tikun Olam, and in both of those books, I talk about the multiple motivations that the Jewish tradition provides as to why we should serve others. And I'll just reel some of them off. You might do it because you think that God commands you to do it. The Torah certainly commands you to do it. Right?
It's about leaving the corners of your fields, and et cetera, et cetera.
Okay? You might do it because you as a Jew are in a covenantal relationship, not only with other Jews, but with God. And part of that covenantal relationship is that is helping others as being part of the responsibility of that covenantal community. So Maimonides, for example, says that he doesn't know of a single Jewish community in which there was not a soup kitchen and a charity fund, right? Because that's what it means to be part of this covenantal community.
Okay.
A third thing that you might do is not because God commanded, but out of love of God. God wants you to be God-like, and to be God-like, or holy if you want to use the word, is to do what God does. And God, in fact,
is very generous.
Is very generous, right.
A fourth reason, very generous.
Right. Fourth reason is because this is the kind of person that you want to see yourself as being. Not simply as selfish and self-centered, but rather as somebody who also cares about other people. And certainly the tradition would encourage you to see yourself that way. Another reason would be you were in Egypt, right? And that's what the the Passover Seder tries to get you to feel very graphically. But the point is that what the tradition says to us, you should know better than to abandon people who are destitute. You were destitute. You understood that in your very being, and so therefore, when you are better off, you should help others who are in fact destitute. That's simply part of your communal history, and in some ways part of your personal history as well, even if you've never had to worry about where the next meal was coming from. And then another reason, which is also in the tradition, but I like to frame it in the way of a little poem that I read once in Reader's Digest when I was waiting for my dentist one time. I sought myself, myself eluded me. I sought my God I could not see. I sought my brother, and I found all three. The point being that it's when you start helping others that you get a much better sense both of yourself and also of God, truthfully. And so this is Martin Buber, basically. The way that you come to know yourself better, and that you come to like yourself better, truthfully, and also the way that you come to know God is by helping other human beings.
One of our viewers was inspired by what you just said. What could they expect to get out of serving someone or something else?
What they can expect to get out of serving someone else is, first of all, a sense that they are doing something deeply Jewish. Second, that they are being more godlike when they are doing this. Third, they will probably come into contact with other people who are doing this, so they will make friends and will create new relationships.
Better friends.
Better friends, right. Fourth, they will learn to appreciate what they have in their own lives and being able to help others who don't have those things. And they will get a better sense of what matters in life if they begin to help others, especially if they are well off and now they're helping people who are not. They will get a much better sense of what really matters and what doesn't. And I think they will also be a much better model for their children, if they have them, for what matters in life for them, as well as for the adults involved, what they would like to do.
If I could issue you a 100% ironclad guarantee of success, no chance of failure for your next project, what would you attempt?